Hey, what's up, friends? It's Patrick Maloney here, and I'm at the Chain Reaction in Anaheim with Jared Christianson from ARKAIK, everybody. Woo! So, I'm really jazzed. I'm excited. We just heard a sound check. You also have a really killer lineup tonight. Now, what's it like having an entire album about Pac-Man?
The Hungry Ghost is
Yes.
what you're referring to. So it's not about Pac-Man, but a lot of people were saying that when we put it out, is that a reference to Pac-Man? And then I put two and two together and we thought it was hilarious. So we actually made a t-shirt design that has the album cover that looks like our album cover, but it's actually Pac-Man. It's got these kind of ghoulish looking ghosts and stuff. And it's our best seller.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Because immediately I was like, oh, I'm funny. I'm the one who thought this up. I'm like, oh, they already got merch.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's excellent. And it's because somebody my age, 43, is immediately going to think of Pac-Man. Because like a labyrinth of hungry ghosts, I'm like, that's Pac-Man. But yeah. You're a little bit younger. But I remember back in the day when we were playing shows together. My band was playing shows with his band. Very last time my band ever played, we played at a place called the Pharaoh's Den, and you guys headlined right after us. It was a bitchin' show. I was so proud that the last show I ever got to play was with ARKAIK, and then from that moment on, I saw them go from having their first album, going on to 5 albums now, and then this is a trip, seeing them go on tour with people like Exhumed, Cannibal Corpse, Black Dahlia Murder. I remember what Travis was saying, how much he loved your band, and now I see you taking on really killer tour packages like tonight with First Fragment and so many others. How did you find these bands, and are you just thinking the same thing, like, hey, let's bring out some killer bands like the killer bands took you guys out?
Exactly, like that was the idea with the headlining tour. Of course, we like to play as like a support band as much as possible for, you know, other crowds and new people, but we hadn't done a headlining tour since 2017, so quite a few years. We got a new booking agent. We said, hey, let's put something together and let's pick some bands that we feel that deserve, you know, the exposure and the tour. So he helped us with the bands that he works with. One of them is First Fragment, the other is Grey Lotus and Awaken Providence. So we had a selection of bands, and we figured let's put in, you know, some progressive death metal with some kind of the deathcore and have some more variety. And then we've got First Fragment from Canada, which are just crazy shredfest guitar aficionados. So.
I'm going to say the same thing that I said to you 10 years ago. I remember playing and seeing you guys play and saying, you guys are going to just keep going. And I said, I know it, because I saw especially where you were unique, you kicked ass, and you guys strived for excellence. Unlike some other bands, you guys actually did it and made it a dream come true. Even though he's the only original OG member. Big shout out to people like Chance. There's oh my God, brain fart, Craig, and then there's Eric
Cohen,
and then I'm brain farting on the drummer.
Keith.
Oh my God, how can I
Keith
forget
Roylands, Alex Bent.
Holy my.
Got a bunch of really awesome players.
So basically, your band is basically a jumping ground for musicians to come into your band and then go off to other bands. Are bands poaching you?
It happens all the time, and it's probably not just us, but it's a small world, and the style of music that we play is so hard to play just on a skill level that the selection isn't huge. So if people see somebody really talented, they work hard, people are going to want to work with that artist, and that happens a lot.
If you can keep up with these guys and playing their band, you can play in any band. Let's just put it that way, because it's brutally technical, but it's also awesome and unique, and it's not generic. Like, I was just listening to it now, it's just like, oh my God, they still kick ass and sound pretty fresh. Now, you also have fresh characters. That drummer, that guitar player, that bass player, tell me about these new guys.
Yeah, so Nathan is our drummer, Nathan Bigelow. He stepped in as a fill-in drummer when Alex Bent was being, scouted by...
Not poached, I'm sorry, that's wrong. Yeah,
scouted would probably be the right word, but...
Trivium's awesome, we love you guys.
Yeah, scouted by Trivium, right?
Yeah.
And so he went off to like rehearse and practice with those guys and do some shows with them, and we needed a drummer. And we actually, our first headlining tour, we took out Nathan's band Singularity, which he's still in, which I love. They're a great band as well. And he did another tour with us after that, and he was just so tight and so, flawless and great form and everything. He just made us sound so much better. So eventually he joined the band full time, and he's been with us since then. Alex Haddad is our guitar player. Another thing where we needed a guitar player kind of last minute for a tour in 2018, and Nathan used to be in a band with Alex, so Nathan called Alex and said, hey, do you want to jump on this tour and do this tour with Aborted, Psychroptic? It was the Devastation on the Nation tour.
That show, I did see that. I'm pretty sure I saw that lineup, because my brain is a little fuzzy. I've seen so many shows or worked so many. But I've caught you guys at least twice since back in the day. So I always say back in the day, I think a decade, everybody. But we're forgetting somebody. Was it the bass player?
So the bass player is the newest addition to the lineup, and he was in a band called Veil of Nath, which are friends of ours. He was filling in on vocals. There's a thing that I've noticed when it comes to being in a band is it's not just about can you do the thing on stage, but like, do you click well off stage? Can you spend a lot of time with these people? And we really hit it off well with Chris. Actually, Chris is a guitar player and a vocalist, and I actually saw him post a video playing bass one day, so I told him, hey, like, if you learn a couple of our songs. I actually had him learn like our hardest song first to see if you can do this song, then you can definitely do the rest of them. And since then, he's just been ripping it on bass, and he's just super talented dude. So this is his second tour with us.
You actually have a great talent for picking out amazing musicians. I gotta say that. I don't know if it's
I
you.
I joke that like I'm kind of a talent scout, and or ARKAIK is a kind of a talent agency that finds great players, and it's a small world, so we all end up playing for each other's bands and stuff.
You remind me of my buddy Spike, who runs Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted Festival Animation, and he finds animators like people from Beavis and Butthead, South Park, Pixar, Wallace and Gromit, and then you see where these guys go, and I'm going, okay, that's the same thing with you guys. It's just in a different style. You're doing it with musicians, he's doing it with artists, but it's all bitching. It's all this really cool things, and you're being an ambassador for your genre, for Riverside, because hey, this is a Riverside guy right here. Got to shout out, born and raised in Riverside, California, right there, everybody. Now, why haven't you come back and visit us lately?
Well, my parents and the rest of my family, brother and sister, and I got nieces and nephews, they all live here, so I do visit quite a lot, but it's mostly just for like family get-togethers and stuff. I fell in love with Northern California and the weather and the people up there.
Oh, yeah,
and
it's great.
So I've been living up there for the last 7 years or so. But California in general is one of my favorite states, and I love it all. But this is where my roots are, so it's really cool to play Chain Reaction. Legendary venue.
Yeah, real quick, where you moved, I understand. I love Riverside. The only thing I can say bad about it, the weather's not great in the summertime.
It's hot.
I get why you moved up there, but we want to see it back. I hope in the next year or two to have ARKAIK come back and play Riverside. And I'm going to make that happen, people. I want to see them play a hometown show once more. Chain Reaction. Is this the first time playing here?
We played here a couple times, yeah. At least 2 times in the past.
I have a lot of my open micers play here, like my buddy Andrew Rathbone and many others. They come and play here, and I see the videos, and people go nuts here and have a good time, or they just, it's run longer than Showcase Theater now, which to me, I'm not going to lie, Showcase Theater was my favorite venue of all time. But walking into here, it gives me that vibe. There's a place for all ages clubs, for people to have a good time, see underground music. We're right next door to Disneyland right now, and right by that is the House of Blues. And then you got Chain Reaction, and right down the street is the Doll Hut. And all these places represent different parts of the genres of music. Doll Hut, you're going to see old school bands, punk rockers, metal bands.
We played there on our last tour.
See, they played Doll Hut. And then House of Blues, you're going to see some of the bigger tours, but it's a big room. But if you play this place and you kick ass here, you're going to get noticed and play that venue. And that's one of those things. I just love the fact that you guys got noticed. You guys kicked ass. I got asked about some of your tour stories. So what was it like touring with Cannibal Corpse? Did they treat you right, or were they mellow? To be honest, I know they're the nicest, sweetest guys on earth.
You already know the
Alex,
answer.
Corpse Grinder,
Yeah.
Paul. They're some of the sweetest people on earth.
They really were.
And I'm going to be the only guy on earth during this time to say, yes, I'm even big friends with Chris Barnes. I think he's a sweetheart, but boy, the internet does not love Chris lately. So that's all I'm going to say there. Love you, Chris, and I love Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
Did you guys play with 6 Feet Under once?
We did play with 6 Feet Under at the Showcase
That's what
Theater.
I remember, yeah.
And this was we were a local band. We were still based out of Riverside at that time, and that was one of our biggest shows of our existence as a band. For that show, Animosity was on it, Job for a Cowboy was on it.
That's where I first saw you guys.
It was just the biggest show that we had played till then. And the Showcase Theater, that was like where we got our start.
Yeah. Showcase Theater meant so much to so many musicians. It's where you probably saw tons of bands. You got a chance to go play.
Yeah.
I know that's where I saw you guys first. I believe it was it Craig working at the Tower Records at the time?
I think that was Eric.
It was Eric was working there.
FYE.
FYE, and he told me about your band, gave me your demo.
Of course.
And always I was looking everywhere for that demo today to bring it. Like, hey, I couldn't find it. And then that first self-released album you guys had later, what was that first one called?
Existential Chaos. And
I just looked it up. It's going for like $250, the original version. So you guys going to re-release that, or are you just going to let it be?
Well, the funny thing with that is we actually recorded that in Corona, and when it was a package deal, so you came in for a weekend, and they'd give you like it was like 100 CDs at the end of the weekend. Once you've recorded, they'd mix it down, master it, print your CDs, and then at the end of the weekend, you'd have your CDs with album artwork and everything.
Was that Dinky's place?
It was Dinky's, yeah.
We did the same thing. My band did the same thing at Dinky's, right? When you said all the memories, I'm like, I haven't thought of that in 10 years, dude.
Yeah, so that's how that album came into physicality, and we actually had physical prints of it. But other than that, we didn't really want... That was like when we were trying to like get our sound tighter and stuff, and so it doesn't really represent the best version of the band, but the diehard like ARKAIK fans definitely like want it, and they're like, are you gonna reprint it? Do you have any copies?
Yeah.
There's people selling it for like like you said.
I saw it on eBay. I'm like, I'm not selling it. I just wanted to get them to sign. I was gonna go, here, can you sign my record? I want it to be worth more, just for $50, you know. No. That's what he's gonna charge me. $50, as I know. I got so many questions. I'm just excited to see it. It's been almost a decade seeing you. Even though I did catch you on one of the last tours, I just didn't get a chance to say hi. I'm thinking of one more band that you toured with, and they're a really important band, and sadly they lost their singer, but they're kicking ass right now, Black Dahlia Murders. So can you tell us a little bit about touring with them, and just see your favorite memories of Travis?
Yeah, so this was 2011 when we got asked to tour with them, which blew our mind. It was our second tour ever. We weren't expecting it, and it was just like entering a completely different world, like the pros. And they were so nice to us. They gave us tips. We left some equipment at a venue one time, and they grabbed it for us, took it to the next city, right? Because it would have stayed in that city, it would have been a whole thing. But they kind of like big brothers taught us a lesson, like, hey man, did you remember it was like a sample pad, and we're like, oh shoot, no, where is it? And they're like, oh, they were like messing with us, and they're like, oh wait, we grabbed it for you. They're like, make sure you double check that you don't leave all your stuff. So that they were just so, like, Trevor especially helped me just with my stage presence, and gave me some tips, and watching him up close every night and then talking, you just by osmosis start to, like, I don't know, you kind of benefit from being around somebody who is so good at what they do.
And that's a great band to look up to, because they always treat their fans great, always take pictures, sign stuff, always friendly, and just kicked ass live. But I would always go, man, Travis, I'm never taking my shirt off on stage, boy. He would take them off. I'm like, he just doesn't give a shit. He's having a good time. And I loved him about that. He was special. And I'd always love it. He had a smile. All these death metal bands always be tough, machismo. Yeah. And he had the biggest smile on the planet. And that's what I loved about him. That's what I love about certain bands like you guys. Even the lineup tonight, it's bands that look like they're pretty happy in there. They don't look angry.
Yeah, and we're not like preaching any hate or anything like that. Even though the music's aggressive and kind of crazy and off the wall, it's like most of the time these bands and these genres have a positive message, but they're speaking the truth. The world's not totally amazing in every aspect. There's things that are dark and light, and this genre does a good job at pointing that out and documenting it and reflecting on it, and just it's needed.
I always say underground metal, underground hip hop, underground country always has the nicest people in the bands. They're always just sweethearts, good people, but they got kind of dark, crazy lyrics. But that's what I love about us. If you can you get out your aggression or your craziness in art or music, it's much more important than doing something awful in real life, and that's the way I look at it.
Exactly, yeah. It's just an outlet to express, what you see and feel and think, and that's why I love it so much. That's why I've been doing it for so long.
Unless you're like Gigi Allen and you're literally shitting on stage and throwing at people, we don't want that now. We don't. No, that went a little too far.
No, thank you.
No Gigi Allen covers for you guys.
No,
you're not going to do none of that. No. All right, I keep wanting to talk. I'm having a good time. He gave me the cutoff sign. I have one more question, and I might have brain farted, but is it correct that you just got married?
I did.
Congratulations. There it is, everybody.
It's my wife's birthday today, and she's coming to the show. So she drove down from Northern California to my parents' house, and then my dad and her are coming to the show today. So.
Well, happy birthday. So we'll get to meet you later. Thank you so much, Dude. You rock. Thank you for playing my last show with my old band. Hopefully we'll get back together and play a show or two. We got to hit you up.
Yeah.
And thank you for being ambassadors for Riverside. You especially. Who else was in the band from Riverside?
Chance Strickland.
And whatever happened to Chance?
Chance was with the band till about 2012, and then he really fell in love with making electronic music on his computer, and so he's like a DJ and producer, and he's in the EDM bass music scene, and he's loving that.
Well, that's excellent. Thank you so much, everybody. See you at the show, and if you don't catch them this time, come check out ARKAIK next time they hit your town. See you next time.
Thanks, Pat.